see a number of Conservative supporters here, and also maybe an unusual guest too. The Chief Whip Michael Gove is here too. I'm presuming you should welcome this manifesto because Labour are now signed up to fiscal responsibility, to tackling the deficit.
I don't think anyone believes that Labour are the party of fiscal responsibility. This is a deathbed conversion that's got no credibility at all. And we know that every page in Labour's manifesto will be subject to sign-off by Alex Salmond and Nicola Sturgeon. Labour cannot get into Downing Street except on the coattails of the Scottish National Party. So every promise that they make today is subject to veto or endorsement by the SNP.
But isn't the difference between what they've unveiled today is that it's all funded, unlike you, who've been spraying money around for the NHS tax cuts, which aren't funded?
No, Labour's proposals are not funded, and they're not underwritten by the credibility of delivering a strong economy. When Labour were in power, they broke the economy, they bust this nation's finances. In contrast, over the last 5 years, we've restored this country's economy to health, and therefore our promises, our pledges to back the NHS are sustained by the credibility that we've earned over the last 5 years. Because in those last 5 years, we've ensured that funding for the NHS has been protected in real terms, and we've cut taxes for working people as well. And that's a powerful contrast with Labour, who, when they were in government, spent and borrowed like there was no tomorrow. And Ed Miliband, when he was asked today if he had any regrets about his excessive spending, excessive borrowing, and excessive taxation, said, "Je ne regrette rien."
Isn't what's striking about this manifesto, though, is there aren't a host of new, big, spanking spending promises. It's actually quite a modest manifesto, and doesn't that make it harder for you to criticise them as somehow profligate?
Well, modest is another word for underwhelming. And the whole point about it is that there are some empty promises in it, but every single one of those empty promises, unfortunately, is going to be subject to Alex Salmond and Nicola Sturgeon as to whether or not they can be delivered. And we know that the only way that Labour can take power is if they rely on a block of Scottish nationalist MPs to support them, to lever them into Downing Street. And we also know that Labour's commitment already to increase spending and borrowing in order to meet the black hole, the deficit that we have at the moment, is going to be reinforced by a commitment to even greater spending and more borrowing demanded by the Scottish nationalists.
You are going to publish your manifesto tomorrow. In the spirit of clarity, are you going to say where you're going to cut benefits and how you're going to fund the tax cuts you promised?
In the spirit of honesty, I'm going to wait until tomorrow before the unveiling of our manifesto. Today is about Labour. In fact, it's about Labour and the Scottish National Party. Tomorrow, we'll see in our manifesto a positive alternative, which will show how the sacrifices that Britain has made over the course of the last 5 years can be translated into a dream of a good life for everyone, the chance to own your own home, the chance to keep more of your own money in taxation, the chance to ensure that your child goes to a good school, and that your family are protected by an NHS which is fully funded.
Michael Gove, thanks very much for your time. Well, we will see tomorrow. Not sure whether that's a supporter or a critic, but we will see tomorrow whether, I don't know, Ed Balls and a pile of Labour supporters turn up outside the Conservative manifesto launch.
Well, but